Okay, here is my new low-tech but highly effective pickup winder. This was made mostly out of stuff I had laying around my shop, and it's the fourth winder that I've had in the last 10 or so years. Um, the winder I had the last time featured this nice high-tech digital counter and an auto-traversing mechanism. It worked pretty well, but I kind of suspected that the counter wasn't as accurate as it could be. I think it was skipping some turns every so often. So I decided when the motor burned out, I'd just build a new winder. And for this one, what I'm using is half-inch pillow block bearings. The old one had just brass bushings, which put a lot of drag on the motor and caused it to burn out. So then I've got this nice machined half-inch steel drive shaft. The motor, like I said, is from a sewing machine. I picked this up off of eBay. The pulley is, I think it's about a 4-inch diameter pulley that I just had laying around my shop. The faceplate where I mount the bobbins is a simple piece of plywood. And then on the back I've got this stop collar epoxy to it, so it holds the plate pretty firmly in place and keeps it relatively true when it spins. So bobbins are attached to the plate with just some double-sided sticky tape, and then the start of the wire is attached to this piece of double stick tape, and then I begin winding it around the bobbin. Usually I start manually, and once I get a few turns on, then I can start the motor and wind up a bobbin, and I think it takes me about 3 minutes to wind a bobbin. The counter it's just a simple mechanical counter that I picked up off of AmericanScienceAndSurplus.com. I think it was $3.50. And it's just one of those kind with a little actuator arm that as the shaft turns, this cam comes around and bumps the arm, and that advances a turn. So works pretty good. I'm happy with it. My wire traversing mechanism is pretty simple. Usually most guys have a rod like this with a couple of guides on it that they can adjust depending on the size of the bearing, and then they just move it back and forth. This is a similar type of idea, although I've got this nylon piece of tubing in there that I filed a groove into it for the wire to sit in, and then a spring, and then that way I can just push it back and forth. It's pretty much of a no-brainer. And then with these stop collars on each end, I can adjust the amount of side-to-side movement, which of course is dependent upon the size of the bobbin. So it's a pretty simple setup and seems to be working pretty well so far. So I'll give you an idea of how it works. So that's basically it.